A sudden virus outbreak hit the small town, and those who couldn't escape were incinerated under military fire. Fortunately, the family managed to escape. Led by the father, David, they found a temporary refuge. Just in time, the mother, Layla, shut the door, and they survived. In the blink of an eye, the family of 3 has been living underground for 301 days and nights. The daughter marks each new day with a dagger on the wall. Due to the virus, creatures called breathers emerged on the surface, hunting surviving humans. One day, the daughter, Zoe, wakes up from a nightmare, terrified, hiding under the bed. Layla finds her, and Zoe fearfully tells her that she dreamt the breathers found them. After comforting her, Layla takes Zoe to David, who humorously reports his night watch. After checking the gate, Zoe finally feels at ease. In this household, there are 4 absolute rules. Never speak loudly, never lose control of emotions, never go outside, and never say the word breathers. With limited supplies, the family endures hardship. The couple is busy fixing the jammed water pump, their only clean water source. Suddenly, Zoe exclaims that the canned food is missing. Seeing the large hole in the can, they check the shelves and find 12 more cans.
Holes, the food vanished. This was their food supply. The father thinks it's the work of rats, gnawing through the cans and stealing the food. Now, food shortage is the most serious issue. Layla is very anxious, but the father reassures them that everything will be okay. Faced with the thick beans on the table, Zoe can't feel happy. Seeing his low spirits, Layla breaks the rule and lets him use the makeshift periscope. Zoe looks at a once bustling campus, now reduced to ashes, with no sign of fire or fog, only crows flapping by occasionally. He feels a chill down his spine. With his mother's comfort, Zoe finally relaxes, but then, in the dim light, he sees the rat that stole the canned food. David is also drawn in by the commotion and sees the rat on the shelf. He picks up a dagger to chase the rat but misses. The rat knocks over the kerosene lamp as it scurries across the table. Just as the rat is about to escape, Layla uses a wrench to stop the little thief. But an accident happened again. The overturned oil lamp exploded, and the table caught fire instantly. Though the couple quickly put out the fire, thick smoke rose and spread through the only vent. Ashes from the fire covered the area outside the vent, revealing their location. The couple had to risk going to the surface to clean the ashes. Worried about her parents, Zoe held money and looked around the well, seeing something rushing towards them. The birds called out to the vent, but they couldn't hear. Ignoring warnings, she climbed out of the basement, shouting and searching for them, when suddenly a pair of hands covered her mouth. It was Layla, who nervously told them the breathing monster was coming. As soon as she finished, a group of deer hurriedly ran past them. Layla thought the deer were clearly blocking the ground. Realizing the danger, the family quickly returned to the shelter, restoring a deathly silence outside. David held his breath, not daring to make a sound. Suddenly, heavy footsteps came from above, getting closer, right above the basement. The footsteps were accompanied by heavy breathing. The family followed the breathing monster's steps, moving forward step by step, seemingly unnoticed. At this moment, the breathing monster was right above them, but then they noticed the pull ring of the lamb doll in their daughter's arms was caught on a screw. As the ring snapped back, the lamb doll started making noise. David quickly dodged and pulled out a horn from behind, stomping it to pieces, but it was too late. The entrance had been discovered, and the breathing monster on the ground was pulling at the iron door. The chain was pulled apart, followed by a second and a third. Layla used all her strength to hold onto the torn iron chain. David also removed a section of pipe, ready to jam the gate, but he was still a step too late. The breathing monster had opened the gate. David could only thrust the pipe towards the breathing monster. The attacked breathing monster let go of the gate, panting heavily outside the entrance, waiting for its companions. The family's peace lasted only a moment before the tremors grew stronger. A rumbling of footsteps approached. The breath monsters came. The gate was broken open with the terrified screams of 3 people as the breath monsters rushed into the shelter. To temporarily stop them, Layla set the curtain on fire and blocked the door with the Ho family. This only served as a temporary barrier. They had to escape through the vent. David used a periscope tube to break the vent. Layla climbed out first, confirming safety, followed by Left Wing. David, being too large, couldn't fit through the small vent. He had to dislocate his shoulder to climb up. As David was about to exit, a foot was grabbed by a breath monster. He told Layla to protect their daughter before falling into the thick smoke. Layla fled with her daughter. A beam of light from the sky came, A military helicopter cast a net, capturing them. Then, soldiers in hazmat suits appeared. With night vision goggles, they realized the breath monsters they feared were soldiers. They extracted their blood and aimed guns at the mother and daughter. As the soldiers prepared to eliminate Layla and Zoe, David suddenly attacked them. He was infected and mutated, gaining immense strength, killing 4 soldiers instantly. He was shot and fell. The blood vessels on his face faded, returning to human form. The soldiers noticed the 2 had escaped and began searching. Terrified, Zoe hid in an abandoned car. To protect Zoe, Layla also turned into a monster, but the soldiers fought fiercely. Seeing her mother fall, Zoe went berserk, attacking a soldier. As she was about to kill him, Layla stopped her. Zoe, out of control, lunged at Layla. Layla shouted his name, waking Zoe, and the blood vessels on his face gradually faded. At this moment, the daughter realized the monsters they spoke of were not soldiers but themselves after infection and mutation. The parents had known the truth all along. David, severely injured, closed his eyes. Layla and her daughter, exhausted, survived the ordeal, spending a night in the dark sewer. Suddenly, a beam of light shone on them. Upon closer inspection, they found it was a little boy who had seen Zoe's jacket nearby and followed the path to find them. It turned out they were not the only ones. Many infected had survived. Hiding in the sewers, Layla looked towards a beam of sunlight shining in. At this moment, he understood that light had become an unattainable luxury. His eyes were full of despair as he re-entered the gloomy darkness of the sewer.